When he awoke, the first sensation was cold. Not the cold of an Arctic climate, but the cold of death itself, an absence of warmth. Then he heard the voice, echoing in the hollow space that had become his chest. "Greetings, John Shepherd." John stirred. Where was he? What had happened? He tried to sit up, but something kept him down, pinning him like a butterfly under a glass. Looking down, he saw the source of the cold, a slab of ice holding him fast, a slab that was slowly melting. He thrashed against it, pulling at the edges, desperate to free himself from this tomb. But the ice held fast, its grip only tightening. Panic clawed at his throat. Memories flooded back. The lab, the experiments, Dr. Morrow's maniacal laughter as he plunged a hypodermic needle into his arm. The pain of betrayal, of needles piercing his flesh, of experiments conducted on his body, on his soul. And then nothing. Only the unending cold. He looked around the tomb-like chamber. Moonlight sliced through grimy windows, illuminating motes, dancing in the stale air. In the far corner, a single door loomed, an iron-wrought monstrosity studded with nails. John struggled against the ice, but it wouldn't budge. Desperation lent him strength, and the ice shattered, releasing him into the dank chamber. John stumbled, his heart hammering against his ribs. The voice echoed again. "John Shepherd, your cryogenic slumber has ended." As predicted, Dr. Moreau's voice dripped with a cloying sweetness that belied his sinister intentions. John whirled around, searching for the source of the voice, for the madman who had made him a plaything, a guinea pig in a macabre game. "Where are you?" he shouted, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. Silence. Then a soft chuckle, dripping with malice. "I am everywhere and nowhere, my dear boy. I am in the shadows cast by the moon, in the dust motes dancing in the moonlight, in the very air you breathe." John felt a chill crawl up his spine. Dr. Morrow's madness was legendary. If he had orchestrated this elaborate game, what were the stakes? And what did it mean for John Shepherd to awaken in this forsaken place? John cautiously approached the door, each step echoing in the cavernous space. As he reached out to push it open, a high-pitched whine filled the air. The door slid aside, revealing a sight that made John freeze in his tracks. Outside, a sprawling Victorian mansion awaited. Its silhouette, stark against the backdrop of a blood-red sky, was a nightmare given form. Trees clawed at the house like skeletal fingers, their branches twisting into grotesque shapes under the crimson moon. John hesitated, fear warring with morbid curiosity within him. The voice purred, relishing his apprehension. "Do not be afraid, John. Or perhaps you should be. After all, this is where the fun begins." With a deep breath, John pushed open the door, stepping into the maw of the house and the unknown. As he stepped inside, the door slammed shut with a resounding boom, plunging him into darkness. A low chuckle echoed around him, seeming to mock his sudden fear. John's eyes struggled to pierce the gloom, but it was no use. The darkness here was absolute, impenetrable. Panic threatened to overwhelm him, but he forced it down. He was a shepherd. Damn it. Fear was a luxury he couldn't afford. He began to explore, his hand brushing against rough stone walls. Cobwebs brushed against his face, sending tiny spiders scattering. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay and dust, a testament to the house's long abandonment. Suddenly, a faint light flickered in the distance. Hope surged through John, guiding him toward the ethereal glow.
As he drew closer, he realized it was a fireplace at the end of a long hall, its flames dancing merrily, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Relief washed over him.
Perhaps he wasn't completely alone. Maybe there was someone, anyone, in this forsaken house. He cautiously entered the room, his boots echoing on the stone floor. The fire crackled merrily, casting dancing shadows on the walls. But there was no one in sight. John circled the hearth, his gaze sweeping over the room, his senses on high alert. He was about to give up hope when he noticed a figure in the shadows. She was tall and slender with an ethereal beauty that seemed almost otherworldly. Her skin was as pale as marble and her eyes shone with an otherworldly glow. As she stepped into the firelight, John saw that she was clad in a flowing white gown that seemed to shimmer like moonlight on water. He stared, mesmerized by her otherworldly presence. Then she spoke, her voice like the chime of silver bells. "Welcome to Blackwood Manor, John Shepherd. I've been expecting you." John blinked, emerging from his stupor. Who was she, and why had she summoned him to this desolate place? He took a hesitant step forward. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" The woman smiled, a sad, wistful expression gracing her lips. "My name is Alara, and as for what I want, well, that's for you to discover. John, after all, this is just the beginning of your story here at Blackwood Manor." John frowned, sensing that she was hiding something. Why had he been brought here? And what was the significance of this ancient house? He decided to play along. "Very well, Elara. Let the games begin." Little did he know how literal those words would soon become. Elara led him through a labyrinth of corridors, each turn revealing a new horror. Portraits with eyes that followed, furniture draped in cobwebs, and whispers that seemed to slither through the cracks in the walls. They finally arrived at a set of double doors adorned with tarnished brass. Elara gestured towards them. "This is your room for the night, John." She turned, her back to him, and a cruel smile touched her lips. "Or perhaps it will be your room for eternity." Before John could respond, she vanished, leaving him alone in the echoing hallway. He stared at the doors, his gut churning with unease. Taking a deep breath, he pushed them open, stepping into his room. It was a grand chamber with four-poster beds hung with tattered drapes. Moonlight streamed through grimy windows, illuminating swirling dust motes. But it was the portrait above the bed that truly captivated him. It depicted a man with an unnerving grin, his eyes boring into John's soul. As John turned to leave, he noticed a writing desk tucked in a shadowy corner. On it lay an open journal and a single sheet of paper. Curiosity piqued, he crossed the room and picked up the journal. Its pages were filled with frantic scrawlings, detailing horrifying experiments and a descent into madness. But it was the attached note that made John's blood run cold. "Congratulations! Subject 734. You have successfully completed the calibration process. Your new host awaits." He looked up just in time to see the portrait's eyes glint in the moonlight. Then they began to glow with an eerie green light. The smile on the man's lips widened, revealing teeth that were just a bit too sharp, a bit too long. John stumbled back, knocking over a chair in his haste to escape. He didn't dare look back. He fled, the sound of his own pounding heart echoing in his ears. The chase had begun, and he was being hunted in a house where every shadow seemed to hold a new terror.
And with that chilling revelation, the game was afoot.
As John raced through the labyrinthine halls, he knew he was being watched. Stalked by something or someone he couldn't see but could feel watching his every move, waiting for its moment to strike. The question wasn't if he would be caught, but when. And the answer to that question lay hidden in the dark heart of Blackwood Manor.